You can see its age, probably. Oh, there we go. Streaming Rat Shaker via OBS Studio often causes significant performance drops. It can drop to 1050s.
Hello.
You have to run
I'm
OBS as
Christopher Lee.
administrator, disable
Welcome
HAGs, limit in-game frame
Ghosts.
rates, and lower output resolution or bitrate. Jesus. Anyway, it's ghosts. Oh, good, and pig cam is redeemed. I'll put pig up in a second. It's Christopher Lee as Dr. Marcus Grimalkin. I don't even know if this is a game. With special guests. And bad Photoshop effects. Dr. Susan Blackmore, parapsychologist. A real one? This might be a documentary game. Father John Nuttall, a Catholic priest, get him out. It even has an art director. Most games don't. Are we through the intro? It's like a 70s film where it's just all credits. Am I in control of the video game at this point in the proceedings? I don't know, but I will go get a pig and turn on the pig cam. I'll be back in a second and we'll see how this works. I don't know if the volume's okay either, but we'll come to that when it, is an issue. Back in a second. Who wants to scoop? Are you a little scoop filled with little loops, tiny little feet? I am back with a guinea pig. Oof. Hello. Look, it's you. Look. You okay? If you lift your chin while holding the guinea pig, she does try and sort of burrow in as if it's a shelf. A tiny pig. Oh, you okay? What's wrong? Oof. Let me just show you to the camera and then I'll put you on your little pillow. There you go. Look at her little hand. You okay? There. Do you want some loop? I have little loops. Do you want loop? There you go. Oof. Yeah. All right, you can go down. Let's put a big camera. And I will put you down here on the pillow. And then move the... Oh, you've got loop crumbs all over me. Chewing action. Let me see. This is just like folded up on the desk. So there we go. Pig. And pig cam. And she's already looking for more loops, even before she's finished her other loop. There you go, pig. You want more loop? Here, have more loop. I can actually put a little bit more light there as well, I think. There we go. Like a fill light for pig. That's a bit better. Oop. There. Go back to the game screen. It's a tribble with eyes and paws. Loop greed. Pig camera again. There we go. Look at her little eye. Hello. Right. Let's play Christopher Lee's. I must say Christopher Walken. Usually when it's FMV, it's Christopher Walken's involved somewhere, but Christopher Lee's Ghosts. I'm assuming I click on this knob.
Welcome to Hobbs Manor, my friend. Please excuse me for calling you out at such a late hour. I trust you had a pleasant journey. Mark my words, you have an eventful time ahead of you. Allow me to introduce myself properly. My name is Dr. Marcus Grimalkin.
No, it
I've
isn't.
devoted my life to the study of the paranormal. It is time for me to decide once and for all whether ghosts are reality or fiction. I hope that you can help me to make this decision. My visit to Hobbs Manor, a house that is world famous for its ghostly activities, is the climax of my life's work. I came here to gather the evidence around me, the documents, films, and records that I have painstakingly collected over the years. Make use of the research material that you will find inside the house. You will have to look carefully for it, as objects in this house appear to gain a life of their own. Use my findings.
It sounds like ghosts are real then.
If you join me on my quest, you may be rewarded with great knowledge, but be warned, you may not like everything that you find.
Okay, fine. Cool. I also need to tab out and change the category, you're right. Will this game support tabbing out? Alt tab. It does, sort of. Will ghosts appear here? If I go into the category, ghosts. Does that show up at all? Ghosts 2024? Ghosts 1994? That might be the one. Fuck it, let's pick it up. Ghosts 1994. I'm assuming that's the right one. And then go back. Oh, hang on. Alt enter. Does it break everything? It doesn't. We're in the game. Okay, so I guess we just go around and look at things, maybe? And then help decide if ghosts are real. Because Christopher Lee is confused. And even though he said, I've got haunted things, don't pick them up or they'll fuck you up, he still doesn't believe in ghosts or not. Can I look at this folder? I don't know what this is. It's a folder. Ghosts and Spirits in Religion. And a man and a videotape. No, it's a Betamax, I think. It's Father John Nuttall. This might not be a game. We might not be in here for very long. What process does the church go through to help someone who is disturbed by a haunting? What is the point of performing an exorcism? What happens during an exorcism? Are ghosts evil in any way? Now, there's been famous cases recently enough where people who have been very mentally ill have been killed by exorcisms, because the exorcism process kind of involves violently physically abusing someone. So I don't know if I feel like talking to Father John Nuttall about exorcisms, but I'll just ask him if ghosts are evil.
No.
Okay,
I think
thanks.
if we went to the simple definition of a disembodied presence of somebody who died, we'd actually say a ghost is no more or no less than just simply something which is non-physical, non-material, can't actually touch. Although, again, some people have actually spoken to me of almost like a spine-chilling experience of having felt somebody or something
I think that's
pass by
ASMR.
them. The hairs on their arms sort of stand up on end. Somebody actually described it as she felt that somebody had gone physically right through her, and it was just chilling. So I wouldn't say that ghosts are manifestations of evil. If we went one stage, if we took that as the bottom,
I hate
plateau,
this
and we
man.
went
He's
one
so
stage
English.
above that,
He's
we
too
actually
English.
talk about poltergeists, a little bit more physical there. There you've got sort of things coming off pictures and things flying around rooms and what have you. But again, the general definition is more of a mischievous spirit and not actually wishing evil to happen to the other individual. And the third, and probably the most extreme case, we'd say, diametrically opposed to ghosts, is where one would need to think about exorcism, a positive manifestation of something which was evil or which wished to cause harm to another individual.
Another individual. Somebody, I don't know what that accent is, but it's the English accent that makes me angriest. He's so sort of, I don't know if that even is that posh. It just makes me angry. Individual. All right, I don't want to talk to you anymore, Father John Nuttall. I don't want to put the Betamax away. Ghosts and Spirits in Religion. There's Father John Nuttall. I can open up this folder or go away. Is the lamp haunted? I don't know. Is the guy you hope you don't bump into in a British middle-class pub because he talked for 29 years. Educated English. Ooh, a spooky desk or maybe a piano. There's a skull. I'm going straight for the skull. Haunted skull?
Bettiscombe Manor is quiet these days, but it was not always so.
Betty's Come Manor.
The villagers in this lonely nook of the Dorset countryside still recall tales of a terrifying scream.
Shouldn't everybody be going like, "Oh, my lover," then?
Skull kept in the manor.
Is
In
that
1685, Azariah Pinney, the lord of Bettiscombe Manor, was banished to the West Indies for his allegiance to the Duke of Monmouth. A man of acute business sense, Pinney made good his exile and prospered.
This is kind of just a podcast.
Colony, accruing a vast fortune
which
he
I'm
turned
into.
over to his heirs on his death. 2 generations were to pass before any of Azariah's kin dared set foot on English soil. It was his grandson, John Frederick, who
Is that a
returned
real
in
photo, do we think?
1734 to reclaim the family seat in Dorset, bearing considerable riches and a Negro servant.
Oh, Chrissy Lee.
However,
You're not supposed to say that
shortly
anymore.
after their arrival in the country, Frederick's manservant, Isaac, was stricken with a malady that racked his body for days and only eased when the wretched fellow approached death. It was on his deathbed that old Isaac, who had served the family well, pleaded with his master that he must be taken back to his homeland for burial. If not,
And then he turned into a
terrible
ghost.
curse would befall the manor and all who lived therein. A phlegmatic man, John Frederick was not given to superstition, and duly ignored his slave's dying wish, discreetly burying his body in the local churchyard.
What a prick, for lots of reasons.
It was then that the howling came. At first,
That's a movie
many
with
thought
Anthony
it
Hopkins, I
prank
believe.
played by schoolchildren, defying one another to remain in the churchyard after dark. But when one of the youngsters returned home, ashen-faced and shaking with
Photoshop
fear,
is so
after hearing
bad.
a strange groan emerged from one of the graves, the games stopped, and few would enter the graveyard again. And the wailing continued, louder than ever, a wild, keening sound that chilled the soul and which could be heard for miles.
I hate how this
around.
little guy's dressed.
The villagers knew the source of the shrieking. But Frederick would not heed their desperate pleas and refused to disinter the remains of his servant. And so The howling was joined by tremors and thunderclaps that shook the very foundations of Bettiscombe
It is a
Manor.
podcast.
It seemed as if Isaac's corpse had risen from his defiled grave and was hammering angrily at the doors and shutters of his former household. If Isaac couldn't rest in peace, neither.
How long is he going to keep blabbering?
The din was appalling,
The
but
din.
it had its
God, that's
desired
posh.
effect.
What a din.
Finally, 2 sleepless months after Isaac's burial, John Frederick wearily succumbed to the inevitable and exhumed the body of his servant. In such haste was the deed done that Isaac's rotting head was rudely detached from his body.
Oh, you couldn't do anything,
Yet
right?
rather than return Isaac's complete remains to the West Indies, Frederick shipped his body back for burial.
What a
but
fucking
kept the
scum!
skull
Why do you
as a
want the
ghoulish
skull?
memento of his recent travails. The skull was deposited in the loft, and
Why?
the Lord of Bettiscombe Manor retired for an early night, comforted by the belief that he had done all in his power to appease Isaac's vengeful spirit. And
No, you
blissful
didn't!
silence descended upon the village once more.
But
And so it stayed,
no.
until John Frederick's own death a decade later.
A
However,
decade. Nobody's
the
ever
new
pronounced it
occupant of the manor,
decade.
William Thornton, had not been apprised of the skull's presence, and upon seeing its ghastly village, had it thrown into a pond behind the house. He instantly learned the error of his hasty actions, as an ear-splitting scream rent the air and drove him to the sanctuary of
That's
the manor.
kind of cool. That looks like it could be on the side of a
Quick
van.
were his neighbours to inform him of the nature of the cry.
I was
and
about
the
to say, this
penalty
is very much like the
for
Gnomes
ignoring
game,
old
isn't it?
Isaac's wishes.
Which is going to be Christopher
But
Lee narrating
Thornton
stuff.
was a proud man, and steadfastly rejected any attempts to retrieve the skull and let
It's
it
a
defile
spooky
his house
pun on
again.
decade. Oh,
No matter how much Isaac's
is
ghost
it?
bellowed into the night sky or raged against the manor with his phantom fists, Thornton would
Phantom
not
fists.
yield. Nor would he accept the accusation that Isaac's clamorous protestations were responsible for an unaccountable crop failure that year, or for the mysterious death of
I
livestock.
I agree, hear him falling
Was
asleep.
to prove a fatal stand. On a bitterly cold January morning, the Lord of Bettiscombe Manor was found in a state of collapse by the edge of the pond, dressed only in a sodden nightshirt. Driven mad with fatigue, his spirit
Can
had
you be
finally
driven
broken,
mad by
and he had
fatigue?
stayed up the long night, raking the pond.
You
for
think
the
new
accursed
parents would go through
skull,
that a lot?
to no avail. He spent the rest of his short, tormented life on a sickbed in the wing
That rocks.
furthest from the pond, but he could not shut out the damnable screeching. Within a year of taking possession of Bettiscombe Manor, William Thornton, a man of rugged health and fierce temperament, was dead.
This man shut the
having
fuck
faded
up, he keeps
to a
yapping. I
shambling
think that's the
shadow of
game.
his former self.
There
After
will
his
be no
funeral,
gameplay,
held
so we'll
many
probably go
miles
through a
from
couple
Isaac's
of other
former
things.
resting place, a handful of villagers recovered the screaming
Although this
skull
one
from
is
the
so
pond,
long that I am
stole
zoning
into
out, I have to say.
Bettiscombe Manor
I think that
under
might just
cover
be
of
my
dark,
brain being
and
wrong, though.
restored the dread relic to the loft.
It's why I can't use
There
TikTok.
It
It will
languished,
destroy me.
content and quiet, for well over 100 years, as each of the manors
Until
subsequent
the
proprietors
great-great-grandson.
wisely paid greater heed to the legend of the screaming skull than their ill-fated predecessors. Most would never visit the loft, lest they encounter Isaac's spectre in a less charitable mood. But when Bettiscombe Manor passed into
still
the hands
going.
of Charles Pomeroy in the early part of this century, events took a bizarre
Oh
turn.
my god, it's actually going on to another leg of
new
the story.
owner, a modern gentleman of liberal disposition, promptly
a liberal.
removed the skull, now encrusted in dust and a curiously sticky residue, had it polished, and reinstated the grisly heirloom to a more prominent position in the household. It was a well-meaning gesture and an effort on Pomeroy's part to return some measure of dignity to the
I've
memory
already
of the
stared at
former
everything on my
resident
desk
of the manor.
twice, zoning out. I hope
Could
this
not
goes
have
on for
imagined
8
what
hours.
followed. On the eve of the Great War, A torrent of blood issued from the cracks in Isaac's newly veneered skull, staining the mantelpiece on which it stood.
I've forgotten everything he said after the slur.
So shocked were visitors to the manor that Pomeroy was forced to return the weeping artifact to the loft. There it remained, reportedly oozing blood, when the outbreak of war was imminent.
Why would the...
Peace
okay, he's done.
now reigns at Bettiscombe Manor. But should anyone ever be tempted to remove the skull from its adopted home, old Isaac's spirit will scream the place down.
There's lots of screaming skulls throughout folklore. I listen to a folklore podcast, which is like a comedy podcast, so it's less monotone than that, but they've gone through a few episodes about like screaming skulls that just, if you take them out of a house, they just go, "Ah!" Allegedly, because they don't. Obviously, it's not real. Why would the skull of a dead African slave give a fuck about war in Europe? I'm just gonna bring that up. Why would he give a fuck? Why would he, who specifically didn't want to be here and wanted to be shipped back home when he died? Why would he start bleeding and going like, warn about the war? He wants as many people to die here as possible, surely. Right, back away from that. That was a lovely time, Christopher. Thank you. What else have you got for me here? You've got a fireplace. I imagine everything is going to be clickable and everything's going to have a long story associated with it. Like this little thing. This chair, this little like photograph over here. Okay, this is just a 70s man. People can change over time. I need to tell somebody about this game. That person is also horny for Vincent Price. It always goes hand in hand, and I don't know why. Every time I've heard somebody say, oh, Christopher Lee is so hot, they also, in the same sentence, say that Vincent Price is really hot and Peter Cushing are really hot. Always. I don't know, what about those three guys arouses bisexuals usually so much?
Approached the abbey, walking across the fields, over a fence,
Oi, oi.
looked up, could see the abbey and what looked like a procession of monks, or hooded monks. Couldn't see any faces or anything, but
No
there were definitely
faces,
monks
no.
walking towards the abbey. At this point we heard a cough, which sent
You
shivers
can
down
hear
my
a
spine.
baby in the background.
As
They
a
didn't bring
group
him
of
into a
three of us, we
studio?
all turned and ran, and leaving the scene just as fast as we could. Having prepared yourself to actually believe that they existed, to actually encounter something and feel something, then gives you the exact opposite of saying they don't exist. It can't be happening to me. They don't exist at all. It was very,
Nah, it's all ghost.
very difficult to get your mind around it.
Alright, cool. That was nothing. That was nothing. Why do you have the photo of this guy here? And why was that a thing in this game? That was nothing. Oh. Right. Oh, who the fuck are you? You look like... I don't know, you look like a poet to me. Like one of those, macho poets from the 19th century.
It was on a Sunday morning, very warm, very hot, about 11 o'clock in the morning, and the group of people I was with went off for a walk, and I decided that I was going to play the trumpet. I was outside.
You
it was
fucking
playing Summertime
nightmare.
or something like that. And quite suddenly I was terrified.
Everybody's
I
enjoying
mean, I
their
really
day.
was
I'm going to play the
absolutely
trumpet really
petrified.
loudly.
I was cold, I had shivers down my back, and I was so scared I ran into the house. And I didn't know why I was scared, I just was. What I realised
You can
was
hear it in
when I
my
stopped
voice. I
playing,
was really
there
frightened.
was no sound at all, nothing. No birds, no pigeons, the trees weren't moving, none of the trees.
Not the pigeons.
The chance of trees not being moved by wind is almost nil, but nothing was moving. There was no sound at all. That night, I was in bed, I don't know what time it was, maybe 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. It was quite late. And I woke up,
That's actually early.
and again I was absolutely terrified, and I couldn't breathe this time. I mean, I really couldn't breathe. I was... and that
Yeah,
was
this
it.
is. I was
But
about to say,
there
this
was
guy has a
definitely
medical
something
emergency.
was getting at me that day. The two incidents just couldn't, especially the still trees. I mean, that's the thing. The still trees and no
I just
birds
can't
singing
get
in the
over
forest.
that there was
But
no
it was-
wind in Britain.
Well, well, if that wasn't being haunted, I don't know what was.
I don't know what being
Really.
haunted is.
Really quite a serious thing, which I'll never forget.
So, you saw some still trees, you didn't hear the noise of pigeons, that was notable to you, and then you had some trouble breathing because you probably had a mini stroke or maybe a case of sleep apnea, and you thought, well, I've been haunted, haven't I? Oh, no, I've been haunted again. Oh, I'll never look at ghosts the same way. You're a moron. Sorry. Let's go in here. I won't be playing this for that much longer. Apparently it goes on a while. There's a television, a very old television, even for the 90s. Although, did people still use TVs like that in the 90s? This game came out before I was born. Probably a haunted clock, a little candlestick. It might hit me in the face and knock me out. Or not. I can't look at that at all. They just happen here for some reason. Imagine being a ghost and having nothing better to do than make some trees stop moving. Oh, who the fuck are you people? Okay, I can't wait. By the way, yeah, this is obviously some sort of show that they couldn't get funding for, and so they just slapped this together. We're like, okay, we can only afford Christopher Lee for like an afternoon. We're going to get him to do all the voiceover. We're just going to slap these together with some photographs. It'll be fine. Oh my god, cat. The cat, I was wondering why it got cold suddenly. The cat just headbutted the door open again. Why are you doing this to me? Go away. Meow. Meow. I have no treats for you. You don't like loops. Well, you probably would eat them, but I don't think you'd get anything from it. Meow. No. I'm going to close the door again. Meow. Meow. Ugh. Let's click on this woman. It's too blurry. Oh, does anything ever frighten you? Robin, Ghost Hunter, Tony the Investigator, and Sue the Skeptic. Ooh. These would have been the main characters of the television show. Sue the Skeptic. Does anything ever frighten you, Sue?
Lots of things have frightened me, but not ghostly things. In the course of investigating supposedly haunted places, I've been down in cellars with no lights on and no torch, just hoping something will come out of the slimy walls. I've slept
always
in
hope things will come out of slimy
bedrooms
walls.
where I've been told no one slept there for 20 years, and I sort of go to bed and go to sleep, wishing something spooky would come along.
Fuck, she's dressed 90s.
As a child, I can certainly remember seeing apparitional type things and being frightened. But nowadays, if I see something like that, I think, oh, there comes an apparition. I think it's my own mind, so it's not remotely frightening. I'm quite happy to go to bed at night, see all kinds of things being created by my mind, and they don't spook me. So the answer's no, but of course it might happen. I might get a terrible shock and one day go to a haunted place and
They're all so
see that
insufferably
ghost.
English.
So far, I don't believe in.
Normally, I don't feel like that. Normally, people sound normal to me. But these people, every one of them sounds really, like, smug. I don't like it. Right. Robin Furman the Ghost Hunter, you look wild. Does anything ever frighten you? No, nothing frightens me because I can hunt ghosts. I've got a ghostly sword and a ghostly net, and I use them to catch the ghosts before they can hurt me. So I'm not frightened of them anymore. Not since one took me brother when I was small, and I decided I would become a sort of bounty hunter, but for ghosts.
The case at the empty haunted church, where the team and I went to look because we'd been told by various students and people that they'd seen figures moving in the
You were
gloom.
so much posher than I was
This particular
expecting.
church I didn't know existed, but when we went there, figures did move in the gloom. There were tombstones which had been disturbed. this strange mist filtered into the church.
It's
The
very
atmosphere was
70s
intensely
Blue
oppressive.
Peter.
That was probably the most frightening case that we actually went to.
Because some stuff moved around in some shadows. You're all cowards. What about Tony the investigator? He sounds like he looks northern. You look like a cherubic David Lynch. Thank you. Oh, did I not click on Tony? There we go.
Now, there's one case I think that was interesting from the point of view that my fellow investigator and myself were somewhat scared. You get blasé about this, but
He's got a real irritating whistle in his voice, and I sometimes have that with my fucked up teeth.
Fens, north of Cambridge, and in a room that nobody would sleep in or live in, because they said funny things happened to them, and they were using it to store furniture. And when they put electricity in the house, they put everything else but in that one room, and we're in there and sitting there, and we got all the other helpers, actual members of the University Society downstairs doing a Ouija board, not to communicate, but to get everybody round so that we could control them. And suddenly there's bumps and thumps coming. We locked the door from that direction across the bare
Just
boards.
look, his
And I'm
expression
saying to Adam,
listening to
my
this
friend,
guy talk is great,
he said,
and her
"Try that
expression.
yourself. That's
They both
not
look like
me."
they could be anywhere
bang,
else.
Bang, bang, we got 2 torches. And we're shining, I mean, we've known each other for years. I knew he wasn't doing it, he knew it. But it got quite scary because it's a thump, 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 you see? And the last thump was on a brass bedstead over my head. And I thought, wow, I don't like this. And Alan said the same thing.
I don't like
People
this.
were making a noise downstairs, and we used that as an excuse to go down and tell them to keep quiet. We got to the door, and we forgot.
Some of these
that we had
accents are
put
turning my
strings across
ears
there in
off.
case somebody was going to take us for a ride. And we went through there and collided with that, came back, and as we came back, we heard a noise, and we swung our torches around, and we saw a chair going across the room and land bang on the wall.
That's
That was a
spooky.
bit scary.
I mean, not that scary. None of them ever have like, oh, I turned around and my friend was suddenly inside out. None of them have anything like properly spooky. It's always shit like that where it's like, a chair was the wrong way around, and me mate Greg said that he hadn't done it, so must have been a ghost. And then that's the scary thing that happened to them. It's just, it's a bit lame. You want something like, oh, and then my wife had her head turned 400 degrees and like her arms came off and then she screamed an inhuman scream and turned to dust. Like something like that would be fun. But it never is because they're not real. Anyone else? Anyone in this fucked up house? There's more photographs. I'm loving the photographs. Let me check on the TV.
Local vet Keith Michael has assured us that the cat will make a full recovery. And finally,
That's great.
tonight's special report investigates a real-life haunting. The residents of this 300-year-old house, set deep in the countryside
I'm being
of
paid
West Yorkshire,
£50
England, have been experiencing strange
to
phenomena.
be in this game.
An apparition of a woman known as the
I
Nanny
think it's a
has
game.
been seen in various locations around the house, invariably carrying washing in her arms. Local historian Norman Reed told our reporter that local records show that a wet nurse lived here in the 18th century.
I can't stop
Witness Mavis
smiling.
Hartley is convinced that
Is
the
that
apparition
okay to
she
go
has
in the
seen
take?
is the spirit of this
If I
woman.
can't stop smiling.
We have arranged for Ruth Brewery, a woman with psychic abilities, to visit the house to give her opinion of the ghostly events. She has not
Oh, it's
spoken to the
all so
residents
awkward.
before and has been told nothing of the events.
Nothing.
Ruth's visit to the house proved largely uneventful until she
Shocking.
entered the small bedroom on the first floor. She made the following statement to our reporter after the event. As soon as I stepped into the bedroom, I felt a wave of oppressive cold come from the eaves.
Oh, they always
and near the
fucking do.
fireplace. I knew that this was a place where the spirit had slept. I didn't need to see her to know she was there. You've been watching Viewpoint. I'm Rhea Searcher. Good night.
This is not a real show. You've been watching Viewpoint. In real life, they'd never let anyone with my voice on the television. Right, again. Over here. Oh, you look like a very old couple, baby. I hate these photo frames. They're disgusting. Yeah, go with you first, I suppose. A wave of cold from the fireplace where a draft would come from. Look, it was ghosts. It became GB News.
When she was about 13, she came down to breakfast one morning and said that she had seen a Roman in a toga in her bedroom. And I thought, oh yes, that sounds a bit far-fetched, a teenage fantasy.
Yeah,
But
you know those
Debbie,
teenagers.
later on that day, went out in the garden and was playing and came in with a small coin in her hand, which turned out to be a Roman coin with
They're
the
not
head of
everywhere.
Severus on it. So I was quite excited by this because it was quite unusual. And so soon after seeing this Roman in her room,
Could you stop
about
stomping
3
around
months
behind
later,
me? I'm trying to do an
she
interview with
had
the
same
man.
experience and saw the same gentleman in her bedroom. And
I'm talking
she
about
found
the
second
ghost.
coin on the site. And soon
No, the
afterwards,
Roman
she saw him
ghost.
again and found the third coin on the site. Now all
Shut
the coins
up!
had the same head, the head of Septimus Severus on them. Once was unusual, twice was coincidence, 3 times was a bit more than coincidence. And although I've never experienced or seen Septimus Severus there at all, we do have funny things happen in the house, like the curtains.
You know,
being
Roman
taken down,
things.
all sorts of odd things of that nature. And I believe that Debbie saw him because she happens to be susceptible to these things.
She's a bit gormless, you know. One of those gormless, feckless people. Bring back the smooth voice game, man. Should put that one in regular rotation.
As I looked up, on the top right-hand side window there was what I thought was a face, you know, somebody looking out. And those rooms aren't actually used anymore because, you know, they're rotten, completely rotten.
Now, do you mean
It
rotten,
looked
like as
it looked
in
like a child.
damp, water
It looked like
damage
a-
sort of thing,
you
or
know,
do you mean
just
that they're
a
just
little
bad
ball.
and you're English?
It was so
It's a
quick. It
rotter.
was just as, you know, it was like a blink. It was just like a. I just don't know. It just looked like a little boy. I mean, other things do happen.
There's a little boy in a rotten old room.
It's the room upstairs.
Oh, I didn't like it.
Contains all the cleaning things that we have in the shop, which is the overstock. Normally, things are sort of ruxed about.
Sir,
you know,
there's a
thrown
little
on
boy in the
floor,
stock
like with a
room.
big, 1 kilogram.
I don't
Tesla
like him.
Swarthega.
He seems
We
spooky.
had 5 of those broken in different places on the floor upstairs. That was
He's
overnight,
breaking
and
all
we-
the
and
stock.
everything's locked up, obviously, when we go to work, so nobody could have possibly gone in there. Like last year, I was getting some garden furniture, and there was somebody walking about upstairs, and I needed some help. And I called out, and there was nobody there, and it sort of stopped. And when I went back out there, there was somebody pacing about upstairs again. So I ran upstairs, and there was nobody there. There's nobody in the room.
See, all of these just sound like nothing. Like, they just sound like nothing, right? I'm not insane. I had some noises, and then when I went up, there weren't nothing. And one time a little boy was making me annoyed. Reminds me of 1950s Brits being interviewed on new crisp flavours other than ready salted. Well, it's very nice, but I don't taste like chicken. The way they just kind of mumble on through statements is very immersive, very realistic. I think how this game works is they have just taken archival footage from actual interviews and then just cobbled together some sort of interactive experience out of them. It's because, like, you can hear people walking around in the background sometimes, like people stomping around or construction noises. It's not that professionally done. They clearly come from like multiple different sources. What in the world is this fucking face? It looks a bit like Christopher Lee's face, if we're honest.
As you walk around Hobbs Manor, you will almost certainly find some portraits and films of experts like myself in the field.
Yeah, you're
of
an
the
expert.
paranormal. Tony Cornell has over 30 years' experience in the field of paranormal study and investigation. He has developed a sophisticated ghost detecting machine called Spider, which travels with him to the hundreds of ghostly locations
Has
that
he?
he investigates.
Does it
Dr.
suspiciously
Susan
only work when he
Blackmore
uses it?
is a senior lecturer at the University of the West of England. She has a doctorate in parapsychology and has written widely on the subject. She was awarded the Distinguished Skeptics Award in California in 1991 and has been involved in the production of many television programs on
I've
the
heard of
paranormal.
none of these things.
Robin Furman is a trained psychologist and expert in the field of the paranormal. He founded Ghostbusters UK in 1984.
That sounds
and has
so
since
real.
investigated hundreds of hauntings. Father John Nuttall is a Roman Catholic priest who preaches in the county of Surrey. He is fascinated by the subject of ghosts and has helped members of his parish in the past who have experienced hauntings.
And that's what makes him the expert, is that he is a priest, or like a zany fucking priest. Cool. I guess, what is the goal of this game? The professed goal is that this guy Christopher Lee is playing is like a fictional man who is confused about if ghosts are real, and he wants you to come to a decision. But I think what the actual game is wandering around clicking on vaguely interactable objects until you hear all the stories, right? Oh, good, because it has been redeemed. Forgot about that for a second. Like, oh, this is the case of the haunted sink. Yeah, lovely. And the haunted gloves. What is the kazoo? Let's see. Because I doubt I'm playing much more of this. Oh, God, it's going to be one of Christopher Lee's, and I'm so sorry to, besmirch the late, great Christopher Lee. One of his garbage fucking songs. If you don't know, Christopher Lee was also a metal vocalist. It's some like operatic metal bands called like Charlemagne, and it's fucking garbage. It's awful. You have no idea how bad this is going to be. Let's go over here, turn on the gain, and see what this sounds like. Don't know if I've actually heard this particular one. Christopher Lee, The Bloody Verdict of Verdun music video. From 2010's Charlemagne by the Sword and the Cross, symphonic metal version by Sir Christopher Lee.
To take flight to the skies, warmongers vie to take my throne. No respect
It's absolutely fucking unlistenable.
ever shown.
In borderland raids, they came in their hordes, ransacking villages, taking the spoils, with nothing to lose and possessions few. Bold, sturdy, fearless, and cruel.
Defiant of baptism on
Oh, fuck me. I'm so sorry, but if you genuinely, unironically listen to this shit, I think I might think less of you. Anyone in chat. It's so fucking embarrassing. Everything about it is the worst thing. Fuck me. Oh.
no respect is
Do you think Christopher Lee was sitting here in this fucking terrible green screen going, I was in Lord of the Rings. I was in a James Bond film. I was in some, like, I was Dracula for many years. This is still better than working for George Lucas, but not by much.
Thousand men all dead in one day. They would not renounce, and even they, 30 years of campaign consumed. Subject those pagans to Christian
Why is he just wearing a fucking coat? He didn't even bother dressing up this freak. They made Christopher Lee wear a fucking Burger King crown, and he couldn't even get a nice cloak. Is actually genuinely among the worst songs I've ever heard in my entire life. Dislike, please. The general cheapness of the video aside, the song is garbage. It sounds like something you'd make in school. It's so bad. It's so bad. Jesus. Everyone in this video looks like they're doing this as part of community service. It's so embarrassing that this is one of his last, like, career things. Is that, like, after a career like Christopher Lee's, he's just fucking sitting here in a dark room, badly green screened in a fucking cheap cloak from a supermarket. Oh, that's so grim.
In the name of Jesus Christo.
It's not even matching his fucking mouth. He didn't give a fuck.
In the name of Jesus Christo, our Lord. On that day in Verdun, no mercy given. Victory for the chosen people.
He's in a different frame rate from the rest of the video as well. He's been filmed at 24 frames per second, like it's an actual film. And the rest of them are in like 60 or 48. Jesus.
On that day in
They have never met. They have never met in person, ever. They were never within a country of each other.
Deeds of great kings.
I shed blood of Saxon man. I shed the blood of the Saxon man.
I shed the blood of the Saxon man.
This is the worst shit in the world. I don't respect it. I fucking despise this shit a lot. Oh, that made me upset seeing that. Let's close that. Let's do one more little interactive thing in Ghosts before we move on to something else. The kazoo improves this sincerely. The second worst thing I've heard Christopher Lee say today. Jesus. That made me like Christopher Lee less. I'd take Dragon Force. It is shocking to say this because Dragon Force are also among the worst bands, but I honestly think I would also take Dragon Force over that. I'd rather listen to whatever the fuck it is, Through the Fire and the Flames. And that is a terrible song. Let's look at this teapot or something. Teapot. There's an eyeball in it! Now we're playing video games! Yes, there's an eye in the tea. It also looks like very spongy tea. I don't like that at all. I didn't make some tea for the stream. I was too hubristical and had a rock shandy. Can I look at the spooky plates? This is a really well rendered screen. I can really tell what's going on. What's that bottle of Poisson? A bottle of Poisson right there. I don't know what would be in this. It's blue.
Justice is often blind, and there are some who would sooner take the law into their own hands than see a crime go unpunished. The case of Nell Cook, the servant of a canon of Canterbury Cathedral, plainly illustrates
Is this going to be
the
8
dangers
minutes?
of setting oneself up as judge, jury, and executioner. Nell Cook tended house for the new canon of Canterbury Cathedral as best she could, and was rewarded for her diligence and devotion by deceit and gross impropriety.
Ooh.
She had not always felt this way, and when the canon gave his first mass in the cathedral,
He's a
she was
baby
suitably
boy.
impressed by the character of her new employer. The old canon, who mercifully passed away after many years of ill health, was a kind but ineffectual cleric, more concerned with getting his meals on time than spreading the word of the Lord. Now, here before her was clearly a man of passion, who had directed his considerable energies and charisma
He's so dreamy,
in
look at him.
service of the church, and yet there was something about the new
God, he's
canon,
dreamy.
like the way he would never look her in the
Look at his
eye
fucked up
when
hat.
he went to visit parishioners who had sought advice in spiritual matters, or his often extreme moodiness and irritability after returning from some of these calls. Nell put this down to his youth and passionate temperament, but she would soon find out the depths of his feelings. The
So
canon
horny
was a man
priest
who
or whatever.
kept odd hours, and it was difficult for Nell to arrange meals at set times. One evening, after watching the stew she had laid over all afternoon grow cold on the dresser, she decided to wait for him to come home so that she could broach the matter forthwith. Late that night, Nell was drifting in and out of sleep in the kitchen when she heard the scuffle of feet and whispered giggling from the drawing room.
They've actually done
upstairs.
sound effects.
She couldn't believe it was the canon. She crept up the stairs to catch a glimpse of the intruders, and was sickened to the stomach by the sight that greeted her eyes. The young
Pedophile
canon,
priest.
obviously inebriated, was on the settle, being very familiar with a young woman. But the real shock came when the priest's companion turned around, revealing herself as none other than his own niece.
Oh, why'd you
Nell
make it
could bear
weird?
the scene no longer, and stole off to her own room to a fitful rest.
All right, time to kill the
In the
canon.
morning, the niece.
Oh,
was
that's
nowhere
the
to be
face
seen,
of
and
somebody
canon
who's
seemed
caught
in
someone doing
high
incest.
spirits. His hypocrisy appalled Nell, and she had to take her leave with some feeble excuse about tending to something on the stove. In the kitchen, her sanctuary,
I need to make that an
Nell
emote.
brooded over the night's events. She decided to bide her time, as this might be isolated indiscretion.
I don't think
not
it matters.
common amongst men.
It's his niece.
But deep down, she
How
feared
young
the
was the
worst,
niece, I guess?
and her instincts
Would make it worse.
was soon borne out.
If the niece is like 30, then it's
The
fine.
canon's niece started making more frequent calls on her uncle at his quarters. And their
No!
conduct together became more brazen and unforgivable. It
No!
was not something Nell could discuss with anyone else, so she resolved to deal with the matter herself. One evening, when she expected the canon's niece for dinner, she expressly made the priest his favourite meal, mutton
Slop.
pie, emptying a bottle of arsenic into the filling, and grimly smiling at the irony of it all.
That is a grim smile.
After
Yes,
serving
eat the
the pie
pie.
to
Yes, that's the best face I've
Nell
ever seen.
waited by the dining room
Yes!
door, wondering at the effects of her special.
I'm so happy.
But nothing happened. After the meal, which seemed to go on forever, the canon
Much like this.
congratulated her on an excellent dinner, as usual, and said that he and his niece would retire to the study where she would help him work on tomorrow's sermon. Nell hurried to the kitchen to check that she had used the right bottle, when she heard a cry from above.
Did she accidentally kill the niece?
The poison must be doing its mischief, and so Nell took her time responding to the desperate pleas for help. When she reached
No!
the room, she found the canon and his niece writhing on the floor in agony, foam the colour of sage forming around their mouths, and their eyes wide with terror and supplication. But Nell simply watched them with a curious detachment, as if none of this was really happening, bade them good night, and retired to bed.
What's
Yet
that
her awakening
photo?
was violent, arresting her from a deep slumber.
Rawr,
Upon opening her
rawr, rawr,
eyes,
peas
she
and
saw
carrots.
a crowd of people in her room, all speaking in agitated tones, and the most vehement amongst them was the man now shaking her roughly by the shoulders. Still drowsy, Nell could not fathom what her assailant was babbling, but when he mentioned the poison...
What, you didn't hide it or anything? You slow poison, by the way. That's how you get away with it.
It all...
You add in a little bit at a time, so they're just sick for a while and then
Now,
die.
fully roused, she attempted to explain, to defend herself.
He
But
was an
those gathered
incest
in her
boy.
room were well past listening and only sought
She...
vengeance for the
Well,
slaying
sorry
of
about
their
her.
priest. Nell was dragged from bed and into the streets, where the people who had once been her friends and neighbours turned on her with a viciousness that was breathtaking.
She did kill a
Stones
young
caught her
girl.
in the head and chest, forcing her to her knees.
That's a bit much.
Blood pouring freely from a gash on her cheek, and still it
It's not where the
rained
gash is, isn't it?
stones, pounding her into the ground, her arms uselessly hanging by her sides, and then succumbed to the darkness.
And now she's a ghost.
If only that were the end of it.
Yeah.
On regaining consciousness,
They buried her
Nell
alive.
found
I love
herself at
this.
the bottom of a deep pit,
This one is great.
looking up.
It's
at
better
her
than Slave
tormentors,
Skull.
some of whom had shovels in their hands. She desperately tried to raise herself, railing against her attackers and accusing the priest of terrible sins, but their response to this blasphemy was a clump of earth that hit her hard in the face, filling her mouth and choking off her appeal. And
That's how I respond to
the
that sort of thing
next
too.
mound of dirt landed on her, and the next, until her body was covered by damp, cool soil.
That sounds nice.
The last thing
The
she
pressure
saw
would be
through
good.
the clod of mud clinging to her cheeks was the poison bottle being thrown into the grave with
So how'd you get it?
and then the darkness truly closed in. Forever. The passage between the old infirmary cloister and the Green Court in Canterbury Cathedral is known as the Dark Entry, and Nell Cook's spirit is said to wander through this foreboding.
Just dig yourself out, stupid. Yeah, there's not that
lamenting the
much on you.
injustice
You could just run
of her
away.
fate. It is also said that any who look upon the wretched apparition will soon taste death themselves.
Why? I didn't, like, fuck my niece or whatever. I didn't do anything. Leave me out of it, you weirdo. Right, cool. Let's go away. Let's do another one. Fuck it. That one was good enough that I want to do more. Can't look at the hob or the pens or anything. Any blood in the pens? You never know. Let's... Oh my god, the cat's in here again. Oh my god. Why? Why are you meowing at me? You don't even like me, and I don't like you. What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me? Meow. 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 Why? Why are you here? What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me? Go away. Just a little taste. How bad can it be? Can you go now? Can you go away? Come on, just... Please go away. There. Telling you about ghosts she saw which ate her food. That is why she has none. Now, out. I'm closing the door again. Now. Who asked for cat cam? Kitty. Sorry, I don't think there's anything else in the kitchen unless this salt shaker is evil. Or the wine glass.
If you have ever broken a glass whilst drinking,
A
you will have
glass.
experienced an omen of death.
Have I? is that real? Oh, so that wasn't a story. That was just you saying some nonsense. Let's go out this way. Where am I? Is there a cellar? I guess this is the cellar. Oh yeah, this is back out here. Let's go upstairs. The navigation is wonderful. Oh, these are the narrowest stairs. Way too much. This looks fucked up. Cool. Something fucked up and nightmarish has happened in this room. You just know it. Like what's in this book or this box. I don't really know what it is. Oh, it's that woman from Blade Runner, apparently. And another Betamax tape, for fuck's sake. Why a Betamax? There are people all over the world that have devoted their lives to the task of proving to the skeptics that ghosts and spirits exist. Some started out as skeptical as the next man. Others were born with psychic powers that were so strong that they could do nothing else but accept the ghosts as a vivid reality. There are a great deal of ordinary people who believe that they have come face to face with ghosts. Many do not get the chance to talk about their experiences because they're frightened of being dismissed as cranks. In this file, believers are given the chance to put their opinions across. The Skeptics file will give you a chance to find out about the other side of the debate. Sure. The debate. Is it a debate? No. Jane Hartley is a social worker living in Yorkshire, England. A one-time skeptic, she has recently become aware that she has inherited her mother and grandmother's ability to see ghosts. Has she? And just based on nothing at all, does she use that to maybe get people to pay her for seances at all? Father John Nuttall, oh fuck off. Robin Furman, we know him as well. Tony Cornell, and that's all of them. Do I want to see this? What view does the Catholic Church take on ghosts and hauntings? And Jane Hartley describes a ghostly encounter. All right, let's do it. Oh, and this continued as well. Tony Connell talks about scientific attitudes about ghosts, and Robin Furman of Ghostbusters talks about an investigation. I want Jane Hartley to talk to me now.
But this particular night, perfectly ordinary night, I went to bed around 11ish, which was normal for us. Went into the room.
The bounciest hair.
You know, perfect. Nothing odd about the night. The room was dark because it was quite high up, so the street lighting didn't shine a bright light in there. But you could distinguish the shapes of all the furniture, and colours were in terms of shades of grey and black. You couldn't have picked out colour in the light. Anyway, I'd gone to sleep, and I don't know how long I'd been asleep or quite when I woke up. It was still dark. And I woke up.
Did I mention you can pay me my subscription on my website for me to see ghosts for you?
Ill. I felt sort of slightly sick, slightly feverish, just very, very odd. And I sort of laid there feeling uneasy, and I thought, God, I'm really ill. There's something really wrong. Thinking I'm going to have to phone the other co-worker at the other house to get somebody to come round. I turned over in the bed. I'd been facing the wall. I turned over and had my eyes open, and there was a figure of a woman stood maybe 2-3 feet away from the bed. She seemed quite tall, but then I was laid down in the bed and she was stood up. Her silhouette was very simple, sort of shape, long dress, sort of seemed to be quite high-necked. Her face I could distinguish was paler, but I couldn't see.
She's English, probably.
And her head was in my direction, and I very much felt that she was looking at me, and I was absolutely petrified. I was really, really scared, and she just didn't move. She just
all of these just sound like nightmares.
I can't remember whether her arms were by her side or in front of her. She was very still, and I didn't even debate in my head, you're not seeing this. I knew I was seeing it.
I didn't have a single critical thought.
And the problem was, I was completely trapped. The bed was in the corner of the room, the door was sort of over here, and she was stood in between. And there's no way I was going to get out of that bed to pass her or even attempt to go around her. I can't express how frightened I was. So I just got my head under the duvet, and I stayed under the duvet, sweated it out, until I thought morning must be here, and I kept sort of peering out, waiting for the light to come. The light came, I got my clothes, and I left that room.
First time seeing a mirror.
Next day, of course,
God, you go on a bit, don't you?
From the other house came round, and it had really shaken me up. I was still sort of feeling strange and very, very depressed. And the feeling from her was one of total desolation, and I just felt so depressed. And I'm not a depressive person at all. And I said to the co-worker, I'd actually told him I'd had a dream.
Fuck me, this feels like talking to a co-worker that you don't really like.
And I told
I
him,
hate the way she
"God,
speaks.
I couldn't sleep last night and this happened. I saw this. I was so scared." And he just looked at
It's
me
like
and
listening to
said,
somebody talk about their
"Don't say
holiday.
what. You've got to speak to this guy called Ken." And he wouldn't.
Of course,
sort
his name is
elaborate.
Ken.
Wait till Ken comes in this afternoon, to take over. So I waited. This guy came in, and I said to him, I think I had this really weird dream. Dreamt that I saw a ghost, I think. And he said, "Oh, what did she look like?" And I knew when he said that, what did she look like, that he'd seen it.
Yeah, of course,
So
that
I
means
described
exactly
what
it.
I'd seen.
That's what that means. I'd take that too.
And the other co-worker was sat there as well, just smiling all the time, and apparently every detail tallied. But this guy, Ken, had seen her much clearer. He'd watched her, he hadn't been as
had he?
frightened as I was, and he watched her disappear through the wall. And the second time he saw her was in broad daylight. There was a full-length mirror on the wall.
Of all of
and
these,
put
this
on
has
a
been the
chair, tied
most
shoelace
bullshit
on her,
one
looked at
so
her
far.
hair, and
I
there she was
hate
in the
this
reflection
woman,
of the mirror,
and what she's
and she
describing
disappeared.
is
She melted away,
beyond
she was
nonsense.
moving away from him. And as I say, every detail tallied.
Can you shut the fuck up?
In daytime. And I never slept.
How do I
in
turn
that
off a
room again.
Betamax? Do I have to
There
destroy
was
it with
a
fire?
smaller sort of cupboard, and I slept in that. I wouldn't go in that room again because I was so frightened.
I was just really frightened. Oh, have I said I was frightened yet? Maybe like 11 or 10 times, but I was really frightened. Oh, Jesus. And Ken believed me. My friend said, "Oh, Ken, this woman seemed like a spooky woman." And then I went to Ken and he said, "So what did she look like?" And I just knew. I knew that he had seen her as well, because otherwise how would he know? There's no other way. And then after I described everything that happened to me, he said the same, and that it was all true. Thanks, Ken. I hope you both die in a fire. Let's go away from that. That was the worst one by far. Let me look at yes, blood in the whatever this is. A carafe? Is this where you piss? Drink? Who knows? Can I look in the mirror? No? I really thought there'd be some like spooky boy in the mirror. Anything else in this room before we end? Can we look at the magical cock chair? Oh, it's Mr. Priest and Sue again. I can't look at them. That's unfortunate, isn't it? To destroy a Betamax, you have to destroy an Alphamax and wait for the Betamax to destroy itself in Lemmings fashion. I can't... Oh, there we go. What are ghosts? I don't give a fuck what Nuttall has to say about ghosts. Where do I leave? Oh, I'm so close to the door. It's awful. Can I look at the window? I can look at the chair. Cock chair? No, nothing on the cock chair. Is that it? I want to go in one more room then. Oh, the automatic turning is giving me motion sickness. I don't like being that close to the wall. Let's go up these stairs here. Oh, maybe we can just look at the Moai heads, right? Is that what they're called? Moai heads? Oh, I can't. Never mind, they're not haunted. They're just little guys. What about this way? How do I go up the stairs? Let me up. Let me up. What if I go over here and then turn? It's kind of difficult to navigate around. That's just some sticks. I don't know why there's just some sticks in a pot. Oh, a nicer bedroom. I mean, it still looks like an old woman's house, but a nicer bedroom. Jesus.
If you want some advice
yes!
to get ahead, there's more to the laboratory than meets the eye.
What laboratory? What the fuck do you mean? What does that mean? I'm guessing there's like a secret room somewhere then. Because they're pretending it's a video game. Which it isn't.
If you want to, get a hen.
Can I go over this way? Is that a crow? Oh, it's a head. A hand. That's a zombie hand. Yay. I do miss the style of shitty texturing in old games. those speckled walls that have too much shadowing. It's very like Seventh Guesty. It's very FMV game.
If you cross the North Downs in the county of Surrey, just east of Guildford, you will come to the tiny hamlet of Shear. Continue south for another mile, and you will enter Hurt Wood, an ancient and lush forest on the edge of the Downs. Beneath its heavy canopy of oak and ash, deep in its wooded folds, a clear and tranquil pool will present itself, its banks lined with willow, its rim turning to moss.
Don't make a joke about rims turning to moss.
Of legend, whose lower depths hold a violent and brooding secret. In Saxon times, the silent pool was a godsend for weary travellers who chanced upon it when losing their way in the forest.
Are they nude?
For Emma and Philip, who lived and worked in the woods.
Nobody's called Philip in real life.
It was their secret place where they could forget the long labours of the day and bathe in the pool's placid waters. The daughter and son of Benjamin, the local woodsman, the pair were inseparable, and they had taken over many of the daily chores after the recent death of their mother. Emma, the eldest, was a striking beauty, who reminded Benjamin so much of his dear wife. Now approaching womanhood, she would soon marry and raise a family of her own.
I don't like that term.
Was a lad of strong heart.
You're approaching your moon's blood.
Sister.
More incest? Yes!
The household was beginning to recover from the grief.
With that hair, he's not getting anyone, sister or no.
When the appearance of a dark stranger changed their lives forever. On an uncommonly hot day in autumn, a finely attired nobleman,
he's so finely attired, you can tell,
to slake his powerful thirst, stumbled upon the woodcutter's hut. Unprepared for such a visitor, but knowing the dangerous caprice of such men, Benjamin reluctantly entertained him, sharing what little refreshment he had with his taciturn guest.
It was the fashion at the time.
While Philip attended the patrician's steed,
cloaks are incest.
Emma served their uninvited caller the last of their water, and then eagerly took her leave to fetch more from her.
God, imagine not having running water.
On arriving at the pool,
it's like the biggest thing I couldn't do without.
Emma felt no compunction to hurry back, but instead disrobed and entered the water's cool, inviting.
Oh, I hope me brother doesn't see me.
So enchanted was she by the serene beauty of her surrounds that she failed to hear a horse approach until it was too late.
I hope it's not me brother's horse. Oh no, is it going to get really weird?
Steed at the water's edge.
Please don't. I don't need this.
Clothes, uttering not a word. It was her father's mysterious guest. And now she turned abruptly from him, clasping
Don't
her
look at me,
hands
babes. They're my
around the
brothers.
frame. She pleaded with him for her garments, but the man made no move or sound, merely staring at her with an intensity that terrified Emma. And then, without warning, he spurred his mount into the pool.
Oh, that's a bit much.
Emma's pulse quickened, and she struggled further into the silent water.
He better be a ghost, is all I'm going to say.
The stranger ignored her entreaties and drove his horse forward. Emma now feared for her life as much as her virtue, and so she waded even further
I'd say more.
into the pool,
Probably.
the waters growing darker and colder with every step, until her toes could no longer feel the bottom, and still the horseman advanced. Sobbing convulsively and now feeling a numbness creep up her flailing legs, Emma screamed as loud as her tightening lungs would allow, instinctively reaching out to the mysterious intruder. The rider merely removed a glove and flung it with casual disdain.
I didn't know where that was going.
Of the drowning girl's outstretched hands. Emma let out one more frantic yell before her mouth filled with water. Deep in the woods,
where's me your sister?
Philip heard his sister
I know that scream.
And rushed as fast as his limbs could carry him in the direction of
She's
the cry.
approaching womanhood, don't you know?
Pool, Philip could at first see only the stranger on his steed a short way out from the bank. But then he caught sight of Emma thrashing wildly in the deepest part of the pool. Wading in without a second thought, Philip reached his sister, whose energy had been all but sapped by the icy waters which now enveloped them both. Yet he could not keep her head above water. and his own strength began to fail him.
What a shit brother.
In one last desperate lunge, he tried to push his sister towards the bank, but he fell back under the effort, and the pool's inky depths dragged them down, slowly and inexorably.
They're shit. What a dumbo.
They never surfaced again.
What dopes?
The stranger scratched his beard idly.
With what hands?
Turned his horse.
Yeah, just swim. What the
and
fuck?
Rode off into the forest. Behind him, the waters of the pool stilled over like a glassy sheet, leaving no trace of the tragedy that took place barely moments ago.
Look,
When
if the
his
priest
children
gets
did
killed
not
for
return home
incest,
that
maybe
evening,
it's fine.
Benjamin desperately searched for them in all the places he knew they liked to dally. And in time,
Is that what we're
came
calling
upon
it?
the silent pool,
You
but
know
he
what
could see
they're
nothing
like,
there,
husband?
and returned home
They're always
distraught
fucking in their
and tired.
pond. You should go check
He
there.
would redouble his efforts tomorrow. And so the woodsman continued his search, time and again returning to the pool, until, on one occasion, something caused him to linger by the bank. The noonday sun was just
Icy depths.
clearing
They were
the
bathing in it,
trees
and now they're
overhead,
deadly.
its rays
They were
playing
just
across
freaks. They
the
like
calm
ice baths.
surface of the pool, when Benjamin was
like
momentarily
it
blinded by the
cold.
glint of something bright on the far bank.
Feels better when it's all
He
cold
hurried
with me
around to the
brother.
other side, but when he got there, what he saw,
That's the face I make
broke
when I
his
find
heart,
my
and he
children
wept
dead
like
in a
a
lover's embrace in a pond.
there before him, bobbing near the water's edge,
The
were
nude
pale,
body of his
murky
children.
bodies of his children, still bonded together after death. He waded in and began to pull them back out when he noticed, locked in Emma's frozen grip, a silver gauntlet, which had to be prized from her fingers for him to look at.
I thought it was a rotten hand. I didn't see it as a gauntlet, to be
Standing waist
honest.
deep in the accursed pool with the bodies of his dead children floating beside him, Benjamin examined the crest on the glove, and his body shook with helpless rage. For the owner of the glove was not only the self-same lord to whom he gave succour some days before, but also
Only the daughter was
none
nude that
other
time.
than
If you
Prince
die with an
John,
erection, does it stay
Regent
erect?
of
I don't know. It does if you get bitten
His
by that
evil
one Brazilian
was
tarantula.
beyond punishment by any other than God. The same God.
Is
who
he
had
still
now taken
talking?
His whole family.
I thought it had ended by now. Yeah, there we
Do
go.
not tarry long at the edge of the silent pool, for you might witness the spirit of the drowning maiden rising from her watery grave, a chilling scream on her lips.
Why is she? Why does she
There
have to be
she
a
will
ghost?
stare you
Just because it
dead
was
in the
incest?
eye, and in a heartbeat rush towards you across the pool's shimmering, hushed surface.
Well, I thought it was a zombie hen, so I guess it did surprise me. Fine, cool. I think I'm done with ghosts for now. Let's quit this. Let's save position and call it I don't know. Incest.pos. Save. As position file. Is that saved now? Save in ghosts. Ghosts. I don't fucking know how to save. Is this Windows 94? What is this? I have no idea. ZMBV. Save in there, please. Save. Oh, fucking whatever. Fuck. Oh, how do I cancel? There. Exit. Goodbye. Yes, I want to quit. It's a blood flow thing, kind of like how spider legs curl up after they die. Yes, I remember reading this, that spiders, their leg... Oh, look at the pig yawning. Sorry, I got distracted. When spiders walk around, that's sort of a series of erections, because they basically work through hydraulics. It's like hemofluid going like whip, 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 whip to make them move